we're not seeing enough reporting and investigating. I mean, from the standpoint of journalism in the United States, about the criminal distribution networks within the United States, right? So when these shipments of illicit narcotics enter the United States, it's not as if they suddenly vanish once they hit the border. We're not seeing a lot of very strong reporting on these distribution hubs in major U.S. cities. I know law enforcement is doing work in these areas, but we're not getting, the public isn't really aware of what's happening in the U.S. side. And I think many journalists in Mexico and many people in Mexico would say, let's talk about the U.S. piece as well. Let's talk about these criminal distribution networks and how they can be dismantled, like where these narco dollars are being banked. Where these distribution and supply chains are headed. Who's managing those within the United States.
I mean, there's really nothing we can do about the narcocultura. It's freedom of speech. It's what people like with all the narco corridos. It's something that I equate to when gangster rap first started. NWA, all those gangster that the government tried to do something about it, and you realize that you can't censor stuff like that. What's troubling is that more and more of our youth are mimicking and are trying to do what the cartels are doing, what the cartel bosses are doing, even with social media. You see a lot of these narco juniors, the sons of Chapo Guzman, of heads of the cartels, bragging about their vehicles, their money, their traveling, jet setting, and so it's almost like a recruiting tool. It's easy money, but with easy money comes a lot of danger, and it's troubling to see that more and more of this whole narco, all the like Sicario, all those movies are glorifying the narco trade, and I've seen it firsthand how destructive it is, and how the youth, young people think that they're getting into something that's going to be glamorous and exciting, and it ends up costing them their life and their families' well-being.
One of the things that the film tries to do is bring together these three different perspectives, and it may sound a little Pollyannish, but I think that having a more sophisticated conversation about the ties that bind the U.S. and Mexico is the first step. We need to just get over a lot of kind of heated political rhetoric and just get back down to facts and reality. The truth is, love it or hate it, the U.S. and Mexico are interconnected economically, demographically, culturally. That Mexico is the second or third largest trading partner of the United States. It's not going to go away anytime soon. So the smart move is to begin initiate a sophisticated conversation about the ways in which we can cooperate a little smarter in better ways. And that's what we try to do in the film, is just bring together voices that you normally don't see in a film like this. We have a federal agent, a former Texan smuggler, and a human rights defender in Mexico, and they're all part of this conversation that you see in the film that shows just A, how complex it is, and B, the kind of biggest cost has been in civil society, mainly in Mexico. It's ordinary people who have no ties to the trade being hurt and losing loved ones. I personally would say if there is a hope, it's people like Sister Consuelo Morales, the nun and activist in Monterrey, the people who are pushing for justice and for a right to truth in Mexico. In my opinion, those people need more support, and I think they represent a kind of pathway forward for the country.